to another episode of Star Wars InVader. Today I'm going to do a breakdown and review of episode 4 of the Obi Wan Kenobi series. There's a lot to go through, so let's get to it.
The opening scene sees Obi-Wan go through the aftermath of his fight with Vader from the previous episode. If you remember, he was badly hurt from the fire that Darth Vader put him in. He is delirious and doesn't know where he is. Tala and a few others are trying to help Obi-Wan to a Bacta tank on Jabim. A Bacta tank is a healing device that can heal wounds quickly. Obi-Wan gets lifted into the Bacta tank and you can see his burnt flesh. Darth Vader is also in his Bacta tank and you can see the similarities between the two. Vader wanted Obi-Wan to feel the same pain that he endured all those years ago on the end of Revenge of the Sith on Mustafar. Obi-Wan finally comes to his senses and asks where he is, to which Tala replied. And then he asks where Leia is. Leia, now captured and held at Inquisitor headquarters, as she complains to the guards about being a captive. Reva enters the interrogation room, dismisses her complaints and tells her she has no rights here. Reva lies to Leia that Obi-Wan died as an intimidation tactic, but it didn't work as Leia defiantly stays strong and resists the urge to tell Reva where the Force-sensitive stronghold is. Obi-Wan, now up on his feet and dressed, asks Roken, the guy in charge, for help rescuing Leia. Roken initially refuses, but after persuasion agrees to help. Roken divulges the intel he received on the whereabouts of Leia, and Roken, Obi-Wan and Tala come up with a plan. Obi-Wan practices using the Force by moving objects on the table. He is still struggling as the objects moves in a stuttering way. Tala tells Obi-Wan that he needs to heal his body and soul if he wants to save Leia. Reva, still trying to trick Leia, continues to drive all the hope from her that she is going to be saved. Leia is stubborn and holds her own by saying nothing to the frustrated Reva. Tala lands on the fortress of the Inquisitors without Kenobi. She tries to get through the doors to the main part of the base, but a security officer tries to stop her as she isn't stationed here. But Tala uses rank and the threat of informing the Inquisitors of disobedience to persuade the guard to let her pass. Tala goes to the control room and opens the entry port on the sea level for Obi-Wan to swim and get into the base through. A stormtrooper hears a noise in the room behind them and goes to check it out. As the stormtrooper enters, Obi-Wan swiftly takes him out and throws his body into the water. Reva, now using another approach to gathering information from Leia, uses her power to force it from her mind, but it is no use as Leia is strong-willed and Force-sensitive. Lola, Leia's droid, tries to take out Reva while she's distracted, mocking Leia, but Reva senses it at the last second and grabs it. Reva tries to relate to Leia by saying that she used to have a droid when she was younger too, but everything she enjoyed got taken away from her. Tala, still in the control room, guides Obi-Wan where to go through the communicators. Obi-Wan spots a seeker droid as Tala is caught by an officer that tells her to come with him. Obi-Wan hides from the seeker droid as he scans the room. Tala dispatches the officer quietly and heads back to the communicator and the controls. When she finally answers, Obi-Wan stormtroopers hear her call while they pass by the area that Obi-Wan is hiding, so they stop and walk towards the noise. Obi-Wan, knowing that he would be caught, tries using the Force to distract them, causing a noise away from him, and was successful. Leia tells Reva that she will tell her the location of the path if she's allowed to contact her father, Bail Organa, first. Reva knows Leia is playing her, and is fed up, so takes her to the torture room. Kenobi arrives at the secure sector doors, and uses the chip to gain access. The secure area has many dead preserved Jedi, young and old, in tanks, like trophies. It's a Jedi tomb. Reva, now about to torture Leia, turns the torture machine on and threatens her that she has one final chance to give up the information. Obi-Wan hears Leia scream for help and asks Tala to create a distraction. Tala asks for an emergency audience with Reva. Once Reva arrives, Tala tells her that she knows the location of the path, but Reva is cunning and skeptical, as she knows someone helped Obi-Wan escape, and that it was probably an Imperial, as only an Imperial would have access off the planet. Reva asks the stormtroopers to escort Tala to the interrogation room to find out if she is telling the truth. Reva leaves. Then Tala kills the stormtroopers and leaves also. Now that Reva is nowhere to be seen, Obi-Wan sneaks into the darkened torture room and takes out guards, then frees a delighted Leia. Obi-Wan tries to escape the base with Leia but gets caught by a seeker droid that sets off alarms when spotted. Stormtroopers go to the location of the seeker droid and the fighting commences. Obi-Wan deflects the blaster bolts with his lightsaber, and one bolt accidentally cracks the window on the sea level. Seeing the crack, Obi-Wan bats a bolt towards a console on the wall to force it shut to stop the incoming troopers from entering the area. Stormtroopers try to force open the door, and Obi-Wan tries to hold off the water from entering the area with the Force. Tala appears and escorts Leia away from the danger. Suddenly, the stormtroopers break through, then Obi-Wan leaves go and runs the opposite doors as water floods the area behind him to a waiting Tala. As he gets through the doors, Tala shuts them with the console to stop the water getting through, trapping the troopers. Tala gives Obi-Wan a long jacket and hat to hide him and Leia out on the base and hangar. This bit is a bit silly, as it is clear that someone is hiding with him in the jacket, and plus you can see her legs and feet, but somehow no one notices, or at the least doesn't confront them. It's not very believable, but it is a bit funny to watch, and Obi-Wan does not suit an Imperial hat. Just putting that out there. Reva catches up to them in the hangar, along with a lot of troopers. With her lightsaber ignited, she asks Tala if it was worth it, and calls her a traitor. Stormtroopers prepare to shoot them, and then, just in the nick of time, Roken's resistance fighters fly in and aid them. They shoot up the base and kill the majority of troopers. Obi-Wan and Tala kill the few troops left on the way to the parked ship. They get into the fighter hastily, as Reva is not far behind. The other fighter then tries to take out Reva, which draws her attention. That fighter is operated by a guy called Wade. Reva manages to deflect the bullets, and Wade flies off as the other Inquisitors arrive. But not fast enough, as Reva manages to use the Force to pick up a bomb and launch it at Wade's ship, destroying it, and Wade inside. Darth Vader soon arrives at the fortress, fuming with anger. He aggressively uses the Force to pick up Reva and choke her. Reva, barely able to speak, manages to state that she let them go because she has put a tracker on them to find the location of the path. Vader, very happy with her actions, put her down and congratulated her. Obi-Wan, Tala, Leia and the pilot get on board Roken's ship and informs him of Wade's death. Leia is upset and holds Obi-Wan's hand while they sit down. The camera zooms into Lola, which I believe is a sign that the tracker is in the robot Lola.
I rated episode 8 out of 10. One of the positives for me was Vivian Blair's performance as Little Leia. Her emotions were fantastic. I especially loved the part in the interrogation room where Reva tells her that Obi-Wan is dead. Vivian played it perfectly, as she looks genuinely upset. The facial expressions and the tears in her eyes. the writing for her is fantastic too. Stubborn, courageous, clever and witty. I don't like a lot of kid actors or actresses, as a lot of the time they're poor, but this little girl can act. I like the progression with Obi-Wan. He seems to be coming into his own. At the start of the episode, he is battered and scarred and still weak in the Force, which then gives him plenty of opportunities to practice. Throughout this episode, he gets better and better to the point, close to the end, where he stops water coming through the cracked window in the tunnel long enough for Leia to escape and even direct it towards the incoming troopers. It was just like Tala said, you need to heal your body and your soul to help Leia. Reva shown small glimpses of sympathy towards Leia and related to her in a lot of ways. She told her a few stories of when she was younger and shown when interrogating her that she didn't really want to do some things she was doing but feels she had to. She seems to have trust issues and clearly feels betrayed by people in her youth and tries projecting her insecurities onto Leia to get what she wants. The episode seemed too short. At the end, I was thinking, is that it? The other minor thing that bugged me a bit was when Obi-Wan hides Leia in his jacket. It was so obvious that she was there. You could see her legs and shoes. And the big giant bulge at the side of him. Don't even get me started. It was a bit unrealistic. I got to admit, it was funny, though, so minor points knocked it down to an 8. The worst episode so far, but still a great episode. They have set the bar very high for the series. That's it for me. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Until the next time on Star Wars InVader.